If you don't truly believe that you should command those rates, if you don't have this attitude of, if you knew what I knew about your problem, you would run and not walk to my program. It's crazy that you're not buying my program because I can absolutely, unequivocally help you with my high quality program. Then, if you're not showing up with that attitude, then just putting some fancy fonts and shooting some professional videos, that's not going to get you very far. The fact is, you have to believe this for yourself, and your program has to be high quality.
Welcome to the Millionaire Maker Show, a podcast helping entrepreneurs scale their businesses online to create more time, more money, more freedom, and more impact. Now, with over 20 years of business building, coaching, and consulting experience, here's your host, author, speaker, and creator of the Millionaire Maker Funnel, Lindsey Anderson.
Welcome, everybody, to this episode of the Millionaire Maker Show. I am your host, Lindsey Anderson, and today we're going to be talking about how to attract a higher paying client. There are quite a few things that you're going to want to take into consideration when attracting that higher paying client, and we're going to cover all of those on today's episode of the Millionaire Maker Show. So excited to join you here today. Now, before I hop into how to attract higher paying clients, now there's a couple of things I want to cover at the top of this episode before we dive into how to attract that higher paying client. I want to make sure that you know that as a listener to the Millionaire Maker Show, that we are always giving live events to enable you to get your hands on all of my effective strategy, systems, and sales techniques. All you need to do is head over to lindsaya.com, and right there on the homepage will be the next live events coming up. I'm always giving free workshops, always giving free trainings, so you can get into our world, start using these strategies, and stop struggling with growing a business that actually works, a real life business that serves you and not the other way around. The truth about what it really takes to do that. If you're ready to do that and you want these strategies and these systems and my sales techniques, make sure you head over to lindsaya.com and get signed up for my next live event. Now, one more gift that I want to share with all the listeners of the Millionaire Maker Show, and that is an opportunity to get on a Millionaire Maker Strategy Blueprint session with me. This is a very powerful 50-minute call that will bring real clarity to you and your business. If you're an online business owner and you're trying to scale to $1 million and beyond, you want to grow your business, you want to do this the right way, but you're stuck. Maybe you started this business during the pandemic and it's just not as easy as you thought it would be. Maybe you left your corporate job and you came online, and while you were extremely respected in your corporate job and you have the skills and the expertise, it's just not translating to online sales because you're unable to make these connections with your customers. These are the kind of individuals that I can help on the Millionaire Maker Breakthrough Strategy session. I really recommend that everyone who is listening to the Millionaire Maker Show fills out this application. To all of the listeners of the Millionaire Maker Show, if you head over to lindsaya.com/coaching, there you will find an application to apply for a Millionaire Maker Blueprint Strategy session with me. Now, this application would also be the first step you would take in order to work with myself and my team for helping you and your business achieve next level growth. If you fill out the application and you and I get on a call, this is a free 50-minute call where you and I will go through your business, and at the end of the call, you will have clarity around where you are, clarity around where your biggest obstacles lie, and clarity around what you need in order to achieve that next level business growth. So all you need to do is head over to lindsaya.com/coaching, apply for a Millionaire Maker Breakthrough Strategy session with me, and I will see you on the call. Let's hop into today's episode, how to attract a higher paying client. I talk a lot about sales, and certainly you can charge high ticket and have a really robust sales process that can help you bring those individuals through for your price point. But there's a lot of other factors and considerations to take into account when we're attracting that high level client. In order to attract a high paying client, you have to understand who your ideal client is. It's not enough just to say, yeah, I want to attract a higher paying version of what I already have. The fact is that higher paying client, they are a completely different person than who you are currently serving. And I teach this in all of my programs. You are constantly narrowing and re-narrowing in on who your ideal client is. And so when we're reaching for that ideal client, that high paying client, you have to understand who that person is. That's the niching, their demographics, how old they are, where they hang out, what their income level is, like all the basic demographics information. You also have to understand your positioning, where you are in your position related to others in the marketplace. If you want to attract a higher paying client, you have to have a higher ticket program. You personally have to position yourself as a higher ticket brand. And there's a lot of different considerations to take into account when doing that. But you personally have to know where you are in the marketplace in comparison to that, because that's exactly what your prospects will be doing. And finally, messaging. Words matter. Images matter. Brand matters. And if you want to attract a higher paying client, it is essential that your messaging is spot on. And what does that mean? The easiest example is 20 years ago when I gave my first live event. It was called How to Market on a Shoestring Budget. The words shoestring budget immediately attracted a lower quality individual, somebody who was not willing to pay high ticket on their marketing, somebody who didn't value the knowledge or investing in their marketing or their business. The fact is, fishing for clients is exactly like fishing for fish. It's all about your bait as well as where you're fishing. And so the bait in this instance is your messaging and your brand, how your brand visually looks, because people make judgments on that. And part of selling a high ticket client is you personally have to look high ticket. And this can be a real struggle for some folks. You will attract the kind of customers that you think that you deserve to attract. And your business is a mirror of what you think your value is worth. And this all comes out in the words that you use, how you show up in your marketing, and how you show up in your brand. If you personally do not feel, and I'm talking not about confidence, if we were to get together and I were to ask you, are you confident in what you sell? Most people would be like, yes, I am an expert. I've done this for 20 years. I absolutely am an expert. But then when they're in their room at night and it's just them in their own heads, and you say, do you really value how you show up to people? Is your program really lined out that you can facilitate big change for your clients and change that actually can speak to a higher ticket amount? And if that answer is no, I'm a little self-conscious, I have a little bit of imposter syndrome, I'm a little bit nervous about the whole thing, but this is just between you and yourself, that's the piece, that self-worth piece is the piece that is reflected back to you in the quality of clients that you're actually attracting. Because here's the thing, you think you're worth high ticket. And you're like, my program is awesome. I've helped 250 people build an online business and scale to over $1 million. This thing is fire. You're going to act like that. You're going to show up professionally. You're going to do professional videos. You're going to use professional messaging. You're going to be working with high-level clients and hearing their problems and using this back in your messaging. And so you're actually going to be taking those actions that a higher ticket professional actually takes. Whereas if you deep down inside your self-value is, well, I'm having a little bit of imposter syndrome about serving high ticket, then when you show up in your branding and when you show up on social media and when you show up in all these places, you're showing up smaller. You're not showing up high ticket. And so I can give you all of the keys here on how to, through marketing and branding and sales, attract a higher ticket client. If you don't truly believe that you should command those rates, If you don't have this attitude of, if you knew what I knew about your problem, you would run and not walk to my program. It's crazy that you're not buying my program because I can absolutely unequivocally help you with my high quality program. Then if you're not showing up with that attitude, then just putting some fancy fonts and shooting some professional videos, that's not going to get you very far. The fact is, you have to believe this for yourself, and your program has to be high quality. If you don't truly believe that you should command those rates, if you don't have this attitude of, if you knew what I knew about your problem, you would run and not walk to my program. It's crazy that you're not buying my program because I can absolutely unequivocally help you with my high quality program. Then if you're not showing up with that attitude, then just putting some fancy fonts and shooting some professional videos, that's not going to get you very far. The fact is, you have to believe this for yourself, and your program has to be high quality. If you don't truly believe that you should command those rates, if you don't have this attitude of, if you knew what I knew about your problem, you would run and not walk to my program. It's crazy that you're not buying my program because I can absolutely unequivocally help you with my high quality program. Then if you're not showing up with that attitude, then just putting some fancy fonts and shooting some professional videos, that's not going to get you very far. The fact is, you have to believe this for yourself, and your program has to be high quality. Now, I know that's a big ask, right? That is just like a lot wrapped right here into the top of this episode. But the other thing that you have to know about high quality programs, high quality customers, attracting a high ticket client, and building your business is that it's an iterative approach. You're not going to have a high quality program out of the gate. You have to work with a lot of customers and hear their concerns and hear where they're stuck and hear where you can help to build out a program that can serve like that. And so taking it easy on yourself and knowing that all of this is an iterative approach, which is why we in my company and what I teach in all of my programs is a re-narrowing process when it comes to picking your ideal client. You will pick what I call your one true client. The easiest way to do this, long story short, my method called One True Client Method, all you need to do to hit your niching, positioning, and messaging is to pick one true client that you really work with, somebody who has the income, the ambition, the results that you're looking for. And this is somebody who is really in your experience that you're like, if I could have cookie cutter versions of that client, I would be super happy. And so you pick your highest quality client. And then anytime you do any marketing around for that client, you always run it through the filter of, what would Barbara think of that? What would Barbara think of my hook on this Instagram video? A divorce coach client of mine actually helps. She has a very successful group coaching program that helps people who are post-divorce, like a year past divorce, to find new meaning in life, to find where they want to go in life, to really get to that next happiness level in life. And so when she goes to social media, she thinks, I'm a divorce coach. I'm going to post Happy Divorce Month. Here's 5 considerations in whether or not you get a divorce. And that seems to her very natural thing to post. But the fact is, if she ran that through her one true client filter, somebody who is a year beyond that, it would be extremely clear to my client, the divorce coach, that Barbara, her one true client, has no interest in divorce month. They don't care about divorce anymore. What they care about is actually getting to that next step in your life. And the fact is, and I've helped hundreds of people with this problem, is that all people will always default to a lower level person. A lower left-hand quadrant person is what I call these individuals. And that's for 3 reasons, okay? Especially experts like you. Number 1, it's easier. It's easier to go out on social media and easier to market to people that are like below you, that they don't know as much as you. They don't have as much experience as you. And it's easier to actually talk to people like that and to tell them that they need coaching and that they can do it, because on social media, especially, this leads to higher engagement rates. You get a lot more followers this way. It's more familiar to you. And so it's just easier to default to a lower left-hand quadrant person. Another reason why people will default is that it's safer. When you're talking down, when you're an upper level expert and you talk down to people, it's safer because nobody's going to be walking around being like, "Who do you think you are? Why do you think that you get to say this? You're wrong about this." You're such an expert that talking down to people, it's safer to actually talk down to people because you're confident in that kind of knowledge. And then finally, in this one, everyone really struggles with, which is fear of missing out. You feel like if you talk to a lower left-hand person and you're cheerleading and you're starting like at a 101 level based on where they're at, like for example, yoga, there's like advanced yoga practitioners. So on social media, you do not want to be attracting a lower left-hand person by talking lower level topics. But this fear of missing out, you think, I'll start lower level because I don't want to exclude anybody. I don't want to leave anybody out about how to get started in yoga. And if I start down there, then it's good information for everyone. The lower people will be used by that. The upper level people can have some insight from that, and it's great. But the fact is that is keeping you serving lower paying clients because you're starting at a 101 level, and that's really what they're willing to pay. But when you start talking higher level topics, instead of feeling the fear of missing out, that you're leaving all of these people out who don't even understand the context into what you're saying, instead, know that you're wrong and that just by being broad, you're putting yourself in a 101 market, which has so many competitors. You're like competing with YouTube channels versus somebody who is talking about niche, very specific topics that only higher level professionals and higher level people with this problem will be listening to. So don't fall into those three traps. And the easiest way is to figure out who that one true client is and always run all of your marketing through that filter. What would this person say about that? Would this person be attracted to that? Now, it has to be a person in your experience. It can't be you yourself. You can't sell to yourself. And it cannot be a Frankenstein version of two of your favorite customers. You cannot sell to somebody who is not in your experience. So that brings me back to re-narrowing. You find somebody who's in your experience, your super high level client, you serve them. You run everything through the one true client filter. You'll start attracting more people like this barber of yours, this one true client of yours. And then you'll find you'll get even higher level people. And then it's time to do more re-narrowing. So 3 months in, you do another re-narrowing and you say, who is my one true client now? And then you start running all of your marketing and your messaging and your branding and your sales all through that one particular person's filter. And as you do this, and as you take an iterative approach, and as you continue to perfect your program, you will see that you will start attracting higher paying clients. You will literally see it. Now, if you follow me in the unlaunch method, which again, go to lindseya.com to find out when my next live event is, to learn all about the unlaunch method. This is a critical part of the unlaunch method. And when you do it right, you will see, I said this on social media, look who showed up on my sales call. And you can see a direct correlation that when you change your messaging, your sales call person actually changes. And it doesn't take that long, and it's almost immediate. And when you have a system in place to iteratively improve, this is part of your process and something you're always learning, then your ability to attract a higher quality client just is there because you're iteratively going out and finding them. Now that you have to know who you're talking to, you cannot sell to somebody who's not in your experience. You have your one true client. There's some other things you can start doing now that it's crystal clear who you serve in order to start attracting a higher ticket client. And that is positioning yourself as an expert. And I call this the lawyer filter. So when you're on social media and you want to put, you want to be authentic. So you put on your jammies and You do a reel in your jammies. I really recommend that you run this through the attorney filter, which is, if my attorney did that, would that increase my confidence in his expertise or lower my confidence in his expertise? Because it is critical to position yourself as an expert and to produce high quality content like blog posts and videos. Everything you do should be high quality because it shines through. So, gone are the days of guessing and kind of like throwing this webinar up and hoping that people come. Instead, when you show up to your business and to your marketing events and to your sales call as an utmost professional, that is what people will pay for. High paying clients like to work with professionals. So, positioning yourself as an expert is extremely important. Now, we spoke of the importance of having a high quality program. This is extremely important and something that you need to set your intent on and iteratively always be improving your programs as you work with people, because ultimately that is the product that you are selling. And so you always want to be improving upon that. And part of that is because you want referrals and testimonials. You want higher paying clients. You start serving higher paying individuals and showcasing their testimonials and asking them for referrals, asking them for people they know. And when you show up in an expert way and you serve them, they will want to share you with their network. This is one of the best ways to get those higher paying clients, is quality and serving your clients and then leveraging those referrals and testimonials. The quality of your testimonials matter. The quality always matter. Next, we talk a lot about high ticket sales strategy. There is a difference between selling a lower ticket offer and selling a multi-$1,000 package. And in many episodes of the Millionaire Maker Show, I share with you my high ticket sales strategies. And really, in order to get someone to pay you multi-$1,000 for your services, it's incredibly important that you understand the high ticket sales and that you have a system and you have a script and you know how to take a prospect and bring them on to a sales call and know what questions to ask them and know how to clearly communicate back to them where they are, where they want to be, and all of the obstacles in between, and how your service can actually help them bridge that gap. Now, I've taught high ticket sales for a long time to many different people. In fact, one of my VIP clients, I just got off a call with him today where I was consulting him around a sales call that he sent me, because we'll listen to people's sales calls and give them feedback. By the way, here's an extra tip. There is no better way to get better at sales than to start recording your sales calls and listening back to them. Even better if you have an expert like myself listening back to them and telling you, hey, this was not clear, this was meandery, this was not helpful, this did not bridge a gap, this was not useful. That's how you can get really so much better at sales. But back to my story. We were consulting with him and he said, I always considered myself a good salesperson till right now, Lindsey. And it's because he's closed sales, but all of the sales he has closed, and he's a leadership coach. He's so fantastic, have served some of the biggest brands and organizations in the United States. He says, I realize now I always close on rapport. I close on relationships. These are all warm leads. And there's a big difference between closing based on your reputation or an introduction or these warm leads and actually closing somebody who is cold, somebody who is not like that trust was not transferred in any way. And you have to stand on your own and be able to clearly communicate why you should be the person to help them. Sales is a skill. If you have not been trained in sales, if you don't understand how to bring people on and do a prescriptive sales process, you're missing out on money. You're making sales calls way harder. You're wasting your time with people that you could have learned how to clearly communicate and close them into your services. So run, don't walk. If you're wondering why your business is not working as well as it could, and you want to close these gaps and you have never had a sales training. You do not know how to do sales, run and do not walk and get those skills. Nothing in my business has had a bigger effect on me than actually learning sales. So I can help you with that. Go to lindseya.com. I always talk about sales. Go to lindseya.com. Get on a call with me, lindseya.com/coaching. Fill out a Millionaire Maker Blueprint strategy session, and I can help you with this. So there you have it, folks. That's how you're going to attract a higher paying client to your business. In summary, you have to know who your ideal client is. You cannot sell to somebody who is not in your experience. Just know that. And you are not included in your own experience. Number 2, leverage networking and partnerships. When you provide a quality product, then those individuals will refer you, and those testimonials will help you attract even more clients. And you want to make sure that you utilize high ticket sales strategies and actually understand how to clearly communicate to cold prospects the value, where you're at, their gap, and why your product or service is the very best option for them. So again, head over to lindseya.com/coaching, and I look forward to seeing you on a Millionaire Maker Breakthrough Strategy session. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of the Millionaire Maker Show. If you enjoy this podcast, please leave us a review on your favorite streaming platform. We are streaming on all of the major services. Thank you so much for listening to this episode, and cheers to you and your success.
Thank you for listening to the Millionaire Maker Show with online business consultant and creator of the Millionaire Maker Funnel, Lindsey Anderson. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any future episodes. Until next time.